Alrighty. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of the Bobby Valentine Sports Show. Another MLB episode, another weekly MLB show, and we're going to get right into it with our weekly recap. So, if you haven't been noticing, the Atlanta Braves are pretty good at baseball. And these two guys, one of them's right here, Matty-O. Matt Olson and Ronald Acuna Jr. are just shattering records, tying records, and just putting up unbelievably historic numbers. They're both going to be MVP candidates. They have to be. And I was talking about this last night with a couple of my friends. The National League MVP race with Acuna, Mookie, Olson, and Freddie Freeman. So it's just two teams. It's the Braves and the Dodgers. Each have two MVP candidates on their team. And they are having arguably four of the greatest seasons I've ever seen in my entire life. Matt Olson's going to probably hit 55 home runs. He's going to break the Braves franchise record. He hit a homer yesterday on Tuesday, to tie the Braves single season record with 51 home runs. Tied Andrew Jones, who did it in 2005. He's definitely going to break this record. He's got like 120 RBIs already, maybe more. I'm not positive. Acuna is already the first player in MLB history to have 30 home runs and 60 steals in a year. He's closing in on 40 home runs, so he's closing in on the fifth 40 home run, 40 steal season in MLB history. And he might do this with 40 home runs and 70 steals. Like, this is insane. That's an insane stat line. And then we go over to the Dodgers. Mookie, he's hitting like 340. He's got 40 bombs. He's got over 100 RBIs from the leadoff spot, most in the history of the league. And he's probably not going to win MVP. Freddie Freeman is having his best season statistically to record. He broke the Dodgers franchise record with doubles. I think he's got 53, 54. He's hitting 340 as well. Like, the top four in this National League MVP race are absolutely insane this year. Unbelievable. That's why the Dodgers and the Braves are the two best teams in baseball. These two guys, they got the best four players in the league. It's actually unreal. Actually unreal to think about. And, I mean, this Braves team, I don't know who's going to beat him. I keep saying I don't know who's going to beat him, but I might get into that a little bit later. We'll get into the hottest team in the MLB right now over the course of this past week and a half. The Baltimore Orioles, 8-2 in their last 10. Sitting atop the AL East like they have been for a while now, ever since the Rays kind of hit that sputter. The Rays have been back on track now. The top of this AL East is good. The Rays and the Orioles have been playing very well. Orioles with the slight edge, as they are still leading the division. But the Rays are sitting pretty up there in the top wildcard spot. It looks like that's going to be secured. So these two teams at the top of the AL East looking very good right now. The Orioles looking very good. Even with the loss of Felix Bautista, I thought that was going to hurt them. But they were able to bounce back with that. Yanir Cano's been good. The bullpen has Shintaro Fujinami has been pretty solid for them. He has. And they're able to do what they've been doing for the past year, basically since Adley Rutschman's been called up. And it's really impressive. I'm very curious to see how this team does come playoff time. Another team that I'm interested to see what happens come playoff time, the Chicago Cubs. And speaking of the Chicago Cubs, they are the owner of our outfield play of the week. And crazy story to go along with this one. Pete Crow Armstrong, the Cubs, maybe top prospect, one of their top prospects. Very highly touted center fielder. His mother was the mom in Little Big League. She was the mom of the kid. And now her son is actually in the big league. So she's living out an actual movie that she played in 30 years ago. Pretty crazy to say. But Pete Crow Armstrong just made his first major league start for the Chicago Cubs Tuesday night. And he played in center field. And, oh boy, did his game get started out with a bang. In the bottom of the first inning, Nolan Jones up to the plate. He cranks one to deep center field. Crow Armstrong on the run, makes a leaping catch at the warning track, runs into the wall, and fires it back to the infield like it's nothing. Look at this. Nolan Jones smokes this left center. Crow Armstrong already on the run. Just little gazelle, leap, bam, hat flies off as he crashes into the wall. Just easy. Looked easy for him. Covered the ground, fired it back in. Awesome first play. First inning on defense for him. Gets off to an eventful start. Later in the game, so that's already a great play by Pete Crow Armstrong, excuse me. A little bit long of a name there. But, so that's our first outfield play of the week. Same guy, same game, same batter. A couple innings later. Nolan Jones comes up to the plate again in the bottom of the 6th inning, smokes one, this time to right center field, and Crow Armstrong comes out of absolutely nowhere and makes a ridiculous sliding play to pull this ball inches from off the ground, off the grass. And the announcers, they were going nuts. They thought that Seiya Suzuki had a better chance of making a catch of this ball. And Crow Armstrong came flying in, sliding in out of absolutely nowhere to make this ridiculous catch. Let's watch this one more time live. Off the bat, I mean, this looks like double, maybe triple because you're at Coors Field. He's nowhere near it. And look at the closing speed. Perfect route, right into a slide, pops up on the warning track. And this whole series, there's been more Cubs fans than Rockies fans in Colorado. They were going nuts. What an unbelievable play by the rookie in his first career start. And he makes 2 unbelievable web gem plays. 2 of them to make their outfield play of the week segment. What an amazing debut for Pete Crow Armstrong. And in his first at-bat in this game, he grounded into a fielder's choice that led to a run. So got his first RBI in this game as well. So very, very impressive stuff from the rookie. Hopefully there's more to come from him. And his mother must have been living out an absolute dream, just like he was. Notice I got the water bottle now. No more actual plastic bottles for me, if you know what I'm saying. All right, so that wraps up our weekly recap. Pretty fun week of baseball. Getting into the nitty-gritty today. I'm filming this. It is September 13th. About 2.5 weeks left of the season until playoffs start, so everything's getting real tight. And we'll move into our game of the week. What a crazy game happened this Sunday, actually, on September 10th between the Yankees and the Brewers at Yankee Stadium. What a wild, wild game. Crazy, crazy action between 2 heavyweight pitchers. The aces on both of these pitching staffs, Garrett Cole for the Yankees and Corbin Burnes for the Brewers. And we're going to pick this up after Cole gets through 7 scoreless innings. We're going to go into the bottom of the 7th inning. 2 away here. Isaiah Kiner-Falefa at the plate. He's going to get a little nice swinging bunt going on to the second baseman, but Corbin Burnes sprawls out to knock it down, flips it backhanded to the first baseman Carlos Santana to get the out, and nice play by Corbin, and that completes 7 innings of no-hit baseball for Corbin Burnes. So, 0-0 ball game, no hits through 7 for the Yankees. We'll jump ahead to the bottom of the 8th inning now. Oswaldo Cabrera looks at a backdoor cutter from Corbin Burnes, gets him to strike out to end the 8th inning. So, no hits for the Yankees through 8 innings. Corbin Burnes rolling. Excuse me. We'll go to the top of the 9th now. Still a 0-0 ball game, mind you. Clay Holmes in the game now, facing Mark Canha with 2 away in the top of the 9th. Gets him looking on a slider. Canha doesn't like the call, has a few words for the home plate umpire, but now we're headed to the bottom of the 9th inning. Scoreless, but the Yankees still don't have a hit. The Yankees don't have a hit. 0-0 ball game, headed to the bottom of the 9th inning. No hits on the board for the Yanks. But Corbin Burnes, his day is going to be done. Devin Williams, who is one of the league's best closers with one of the most devastating pitches in the league, that airbender changeup that he has, he's going to come into the game to try to keep the Yankees off the board and out of the hit column in the 9th inning. And after he gets the first 2 outs, big bad Aaron Judge comes up, and that's never who you want to face with 2 outs in a tie ball game in the bottom of the 9th inning. But Devin Williams gets him on a fastball. Judge probably looking for that airbender, and Devin Williams surprises him with a little bit of high heat there and gets him to strike out. So no hitter through 9 for the Brewers, but the Brewers never got a run. So we're headed to the 10th inning. And Tommy Kahnle, he's able to get out of the top of the 10th inning unscathed, stranding the ghost runner at third base. Now we're going to move on to the bottom of the 10th inning now. Bottom of the 10th inning, 2 away, runners on first and second. Anthony Volpe at the dish. First pitch to Volpe is swung on and driven high and deep to right center field. Sal Frelick and Joey Wiemer back to the wall. Sal Frelick leaps up and makes a ridiculous catch as he takes out the center fielder, Joey Wiemer. So a walk was early in this inning. This play ends the 10th inning, keeps the game scoreless, and keeps the Yankees out of the hit column again. So ninth inning, Devin Williams strikes him out to get out of the inning. This absolute web gem of a play by Sal Frelick in right field keeps the Yankees out of the hit column. This would have been the first hit of the day and a walk-off. But Sal Frelick, no regard for the body, no regard for a center fielder, Joey Wiemer, either. Gives him a massive elbow to the head. But makes an insane play. Yankees still don't have a hit through 10 innings. Now, we're going to go to the top of the 10th inning. Or top of the 11th inning, excuse me, as that was the bottom of the 10th. And Tyrone Taylor, with a runner on third base, the ghost runner, is going to bloop one into center field to break the scoreless tie and give the Brewers a 1-0 lead here with one away in the top of the 11th inning. So, Brewers looking to finish off a 11-inning no-hitter, 11-inning combined no-hitter. Pretty crazy stuff here. I don't even know the last time that's happened, but because last inning Anthony Volpe almost walked it off with the first hit of the day for the Yanks, but Sal Frelick made a ridiculous catch at the wall. He's the ghost runner at second base. He's going to get advanced to third, and Oswaldo Cabrera is going to come up with one away, runner on third, and rip one down the right field line. That's going to stay fair and get into the corner. First hit of the day for the Yanks, and it ties up the ball game. So 1-1 now, bottom of the 11th, winning run on second base. First hit of the game, no hitter gone in the 11th inning. So 10 2/3 of no hit frames for the Brewers. Pretty impressive, but the first hit of the game leads to a tie ball game. But they're able to get out of it as we are going to move to the 12th inning. The 12th inning. 1-1, headed to the top of the 12th. And I'm getting double added. Because why wouldn't I be? What's going on? Okay, so top of the 12th inning, Joey Wiemer, who took that crazy elbow from Sal Frelick, 1-1 count. He's going to rip one down the left field line. That's going to be a base hit. Carlos Santana's around third. He's going to score. Wiemer into second. That's a double. And the Brewers go right back on top, 2-1 in the 12th inning. And the next batter, or not the next batter, excuse me. Yeah, the next batter actually does hit a sacrifice fly to center field. Gets Joey Wiemer over to third, and then Monasterio is going to loft one into fairly shallow, mid-left center field. The play is made by Everson Pereira. Throw comes back in, but it is too late. Wiemer comes in to score. 3-1 Brewers. Now, bottom of the 12th inning. Ghost runner on second base. The first batter of the bottom of the 12th inning for the Yankees is Giancarlo Stanton. And Giancarlo Stanton rips a pitch from Andrew Chafin to right center field. That one is going to find the Yankees bullpen. 2-run homer to lead off the bottom of the 12th. Tie ball game yet again. So after the Yankees aren't able to get a hit through 10 innings, they didn't get their first hit until the 11th. They come back to tie the game in the 11th, and they come back to tie the game in the 12th. So pretty impressive stuff from a Yankees team that looked like they were down and out for 10 innings to rally back in the 11th and the 12th. But the Yankees are able to get out of it in the top of the 13th with no runs given up. And that'll bring up Kyle Higashioka with one away in the bottom of the 13th inning, runner on second base. And on a 3-2 pitch, he's going to rip one over the left fielder Tyrone Taylor's head. That's going to short hop the wall. Runner comes in to score. Yankees walk off final in 13, 4-3 on a wild ball game where the Yankees didn't find their first hit in this game until the 11th inning. So the Yankees had to come back from a deficit twice in extra innings. Didn't have a hit until the 11th inning. Wild ball game. And I don't remember the last time I saw a game go into that many extra innings without a hit from one team. Don't remember the last time I saw it. I remember that one Marlins game when they needed the walk-off to happen to secure the no-hitter. When I don't remember who was it, Edinson Volquez? Was it? I don't remember, but he threw a no-hitter through 9, but they had no runs, but they ended up walking it off in the bottom of the ninth to win the game. This was a little different, especially because the Brewers didn't even secure the no-hitter or the victory. And I'll talk about the Yankees a little bit more now. We're going to move into our MLB standings update. But they did start to play a little bit better now that they got that youth movement going on. But another setback, as I'll get into. So, MLB standings update. Jump right into the American League East. We talked about the top of this division a little bit already. The Baltimore Orioles and the Tampa Bay Rays, both looking very good right now, particularly the Baltimore Orioles, who have been sitting pretty for about 2 months now, 2.5 months now. They set a franchise record for strikeouts in a season with 1,253 and counting, obviously, as that is changing every 20 minutes with the way the game goes now in 2023. The Tampa Bay Rays, so they were sitting pretty at the top of the AL wildcard spot, and they've been playing well recently, and it looks like they're going to have that spot locked up pretty much. But Jose Siri just broke his wrist, and he's probably going to be out for at least 3 weeks. So they're probably not going to have him for the beginning of the playoffs, and they're not going to get him back unless they advance in the playoffs. So that could be an interesting thing to look at there because he's been very good this year, and he's been kind of an important part of this Rays team. The Toronto Blue Jays, sitting there, they are a half a game behind Texas right now for that third wild card spot in the American League. They're tied with Seattle. Chris Bassett, former Oakland Athletic. Speaking of the Oakland Athletics, got my new A's shirt on. Kidding me? Riri, you see this? Let's go. Chris Bassett, former Oakland Athletic, has 10 starts this season with at least 6 scoreless innings pitched. That's the most in the majors this year, and that breaks the Blue Jays franchise record set by Roger Clemens in 1997. So pretty elite category right there, and a pretty elite person to break a franchise record from by Chris Bassett, by Roger Clemens. I mean, obviously one of the best pitchers of his generation, and really of all time. So Chris Bassett, I've always loved Chris Bassett. And Chris Bassett, I think I saw this, he's got like the third most wins in baseball since 2019 or something like that. He's just a workhorse, and he's always been like that. Davis Schneider, rookie sensation, homered again yesterday off of Aroldis Chapman in the 9th inning. Wasn't enough to get the Blue Jays rally going late, but he's been unbelievable. He's the second Blue Jay to hit 7 or more homers. I guess it's 8, but 7 or more homers in his first 20 career games. That joined Carlos Delgado, who did it in 8 games from 1993-94 and the end of the year to the beginning of the next season. So that's pretty crazy. Pretty elite company. Davis Schneider, 7 or more bombs in his first 20 games. Second Blue Jay ever. The Boston Red Sox, they just lost a doubleheader yesterday to the New York Yankees at Fenway Park. And honestly, I was thinking about it yesterday, watching that series, watching that doubleheader. It's really weird for there to be a series going on at Fenway Park between the Yankees and the Red Sox right now in the middle of September, and it really doesn't mean anything. It's very weird. Justin Turner set a new career high on RBIs with his 91st of the season to surpass his previous total set in 2016. So Justin Turner, I mean, a late bloomer for sure. And I mean, he just is still a great hitter. When is he going to go away? How old is he now? Like 36? He's very, very good player, very, very good hitter. And I was surprised that the Dodgers let him go, to be honest. But he does what he always does. He's got like 95 RBIs by now because that was earlier in the week. Rafael Devers hit a home run in the first game of the doubleheader on Tuesday. He became the third Red Sox player in franchise history with 3 or more seasons with 30 or more home runs before turning 27. He joined Ted Williams and Jim Rice. So Red Sox legends, Jim Rice and Ted Williams, obviously. Pretty elite company for him to join. 3+ seasons of 30 or more home runs before turning 27. That's pretty elite. Rafael Devers, very, very good player. And Cedane Rafaela, one of the Red Sox rookies, became the first Red Sox player to hit his first career homer to lead off a game since David Murphy back in 2006. So pretty cool time to hit your first career home run. And we'll jump over to the New York Yankees. They actually just tied the Red Sox for a record on the season because of that sweep in a doubleheader yesterday. I guess today's probably going to be the rubber match to figure out who's the best team of the year. Giancarlo Stanton hit his 400th career home run earlier this last week, and he became the 4th fastest player by games to reach 400 home runs. The only people that were faster than him were Mark McGwire, Babe Ruth, and A-Rod. So very elite company there, and that's really surprising, honestly. And I mean, it makes sense because Giancarlo's been hurt a lot. He had a lot of injuries throughout his career. He's got hit in the face. He's got Had a lot of injuries since he came over to the Yankees. So he hasn't played that many games. I mean, obviously he's played a lot of games, but he's played more years than his games would suggest, if you know what I'm trying to say here. But fourth fastest player in the history of baseball to 400 home runs. Impressive nonetheless. Jason Dominguez, the Martian, the Yankees' rookie sensation, at 20 years old, is the youngest player since at least 1901 to hit a home run in 4 of his first 7 career games. So that was awesome. All great for Yankees fans. And then they found out that in his 3rd career game, he tore his UCL. And now he's got to get Tommy John, and he's going to miss part of next season now. So the bad just keeps turning to worse for Yankees fans. And this is unprecedented. I've never seen anything like this in my lifetime. It's really weird, and it sucks. Sorry about it. Garrett Cole became the first pitcher to reach 200 strikeouts in 3 seasons with the Yankees. I found that crazy. So Garrett Cole, this is his 6th season overall of having 200 strikeouts on the year, but he's the only Yankee ever to do it 3 times. There's never been a Yankee to have 200 strikeouts in a year 3 times in their career. That's kind of crazy to me. So Garrett Cole just became the first one. Pretty wild stuff. We'll jump over to the National League East, and hold on, I'm going to sip water of this one because we got to talk about the Atlanta Braves. And you know we got a lot of things to say when we got to talk about the Atlanta Braves right now. The Atlanta Braves are out of this world. Out of this world. Out of this world. Matt Olson and Austin Riley became the first duo with at least 7 back-to-back homers in a season since 2001 when Barry Bonds and Rich Aurilia did it. Matt Olson hit 2 homers on Monday to get to 50 on the season, and then on Tuesday, he hit number 51 to tie Andrew Jones for the franchise record for the most in a season that he set in 2005, and he's going to break that. And the Braves, as a team, set the record for the most home runs by any National League team in the history of baseball with 280. Ronald Acuna Jr. has 36 home runs as of September 13th. He has 37. He homered again yesterday. He has 37 home runs as of September 13th, which is 3 away from becoming the 5th player in MLB history to have a 40 home run and 40 stolen base season. And he's going to do it with maybe 40 home runs and 70 steals. 70 steals. That's unheard of. That's insane. The 2023 Braves just became the 4th team in Major League Baseball history to have a player hit 50 homers, Matt Olson, and have another steal 50 bags, Ronald Acuna Jr., who's got 65. And they join the 2017 Miami Marlins with Giancarlo Stanton and D. Strange Gordon, the 2000 Chicago Cubs with Sammy Sosa and Eric Young Sr., and the 1995 Cleveland Indians with Albert Bell and Kenny Lofton. So this 2023 Braves team, Matt Olson and Acuna, 50 homer, 50 steals, elite company, as there's only 3 other teams in the history of the sport to have a 50 homer player and a 50 steal player. Pretty insane stuff, right? But they did just play the Phillies in a series. And if you watch that series, it felt and looked like a playoff series. Everything about it, really. Everything about it. And I've been saying it for like a month now. Who's going to beat the Braves? I don't know what's going to happen. Maybe the same team that beat them last year could beat them. The Phillies. As of right now, that looks like the only team that's got a chance. Because this Braves team is tearing the cover off the baseball. They're just unheard ofly good right now. But the Phillies beat them last year. They have Zach Wheeler. They have Aaron Nola. They have a good pitching staff. They have a bunch of hitters. That's the matchup I want to see in the playoffs after watching this series again. It reminded me of last year, and I want to see it again. Speaking of the Phillies, we're going to talk about them now. They just broke the franchise record earlier this week with 7 straight games with multiple home runs. Not just 7 straight games with a homer, 7 straight games with multiple home runs. And Kyle Schwarber hit his 10th leadoff homer of the year, surpassing Jimmy Rollins for the most in a single season by a Philly. Bryson Stott just stole the MLB's 3,000th bag of the year earlier this week, which is the most in 11 seasons. Trey Turner is the 6th player in Phillies history with 25 home runs and 25 steals in the season, first since Jimmy Rollins in 2007. And right now, They're sitting pretty, just like the Rays are, in that top National League wildcard spot. So it looks like the top spot in the National League and the American League wildcard are pretty much decided already, unless something catastrophic happens. But it looks like it's going to be the Philadelphia Phillies in the National League and the Tampa Bay Rays in the American League, unless something wild happens. We'll move on to the Miami Marlins. The Marlins improved their record in one-run games this season to 30-12. 30-12, which is the best in the major leagues this year. That's a crazy number. And they're a game and a half back of Arizona right now. They've kind of been around, hanging there all year, but they need it now. It's time. Their pitching's been faltering. Their bullpen's been faltering. They're looking at injuries. They need to pick it up right now, or it's done. It's over. The New York Mets, been over. Pete Alonso hit his 42nd homer of the year earlier this week. That gave him the second highest single-season home run total in Mets. The two highest single-season home run totals. So he's got number one when he hit, 50 or whatever he did, and then he's got 42. He hit 42 this year, but he made it 44 yesterday. So he's got the two highest single-season home run totals in Mets history. Kodai Senga is now the second on the Mets all-time list for strikeouts by a rookie with 181. So he's been another bright spot for that Mets team. Pete Alonso, Francisco Lindor, Kodai Senga, three bright spots for the Mets this year. And, maybe Ronnie Mauricio. He hit an absolute bomb yesterday on Tuesday night for his first career home run. It was about 114 miles an hour off the bat, and it went 440 feet into the second deck down the right field line. Absolutely smoked. Turned on it like nothing. And he's very raw. He's a very talented player. He's very fast. He's very quick twitch, and he has very good at bats. He sees the ball well. Ellie De La Cruz, and O'Neal Cruz. Where did those three guys come from? They all feel like they're kind of the same, and they're very, very explosive. Rounding out that National League East, the Washington Nationals, C.J. Abrams just became the third player in Nationals franchise history to steal 40 bases in a season, and that doesn't include Montreal. So just since 2005 when they moved to Washington. Lane Thomas is the first Washington National to homer in 4 straight games in a single season since Bryce Harper in 2016. And C.J. Abrams, again, second youngest shortstop with 15 homers and 50 steals in a season, only behind Hanley Ramirez in 2006. So that's not just franchise, that's in the history of the league. Second youngest shortstop ever with 15 homers and 50 steals, only behind Hanley Ramirez, who's pretty damn good. Pretty elite company. C.J. Abrams, ever since he left San Diego, he's looked pretty promising. He's been pretty good for this Washington Nationals team. Moving to the AL Central, the Twins. The Twins have been playing better. I've been calling them out a lot, but they look like a team that might be ready for the playoffs. Actually, Royce Lewis has 4 Grand Slams in 56 career games. That's the fewest total of games to 4 Grand Slams in MLB history. He's the first rookie with 4 Grand Slams in a season since Alexei Ramirez in 2008. Alexei! Twins single-season record. 3 of these Grand Slams came in an 8-game period. And that's tied for the shortest game span to hit 3 Grand Slams. We'll talk about the pitching, not just Royce Lewis. Sonny Gray has logged 8 quality starts in his last 9 outings. And this weekend, Pablo Lopez became the first Twin with a scoreless start with 14 strikeouts and 0 walks since Johan Santana back in 2007. So, Twins pitching has been coming around too. The Twins have been coming around. The Twins look like a team that should win the American League Central now. And I'm glad because they're figuring it out right when they need to. So, that could get interesting for the playoff push in about 3 weeks. Rest of this division is kind of Jones. The Guardians, they picked up Lucas Giolito off of waivers from the Los Angeles Angels. And in his Guardians debut, he became the first pitcher to allow 8 or more runs for 3 different teams in the same season since Bill McGee in 1899. So he gave up 8 runs in a game for the White Sox this year, 8 runs in a game for the Angels this year, and 8 runs in a game for the Guardians this year. First time that one pitcher did it for 3 different teams in the same year since 1899. Not good company. But, other side of that, the relief pitching, Emmanuel Clase recorded his MLB leading 40th save of the season on Tuesday night, and he became the first player in Cleveland franchise history with multiple 40-save seasons, which is kind of crazy. We'll go to the Tigers. Really, the only thing that they got going on right now is Miggy's farewell tour, and hopefully that keeps going good. Miguel Cabrera should be getting as much praise as anybody because he's a first-ballot Hall of Famer. The guy won the damn Triple Crown, for God's sake. Like, give the guy his credit. The White Sox, I mean, their season really can't end soon enough, to be honest. They just lost to the Royals yesterday, I believe, 11-10 or something like that. So whatever. The Royals, speaking of the Royals, they just became the MLB's first team to 100 losses this year. And yeah, that's what I guess you're wondering. What about them? Nope. We just beat the Astros 2 times in a row to take the series, to stay at 99 and let the Royals get there first. So how about it? Let's go, Oakland. NL Central, the Milwaukee Brewers, talked about that insane game of the week on Sunday. No hit the Yankees until the 11th, but they ended up losing in 13. So that doesn't usually happen. Pitching staff looked good. The offense needed to get something going, but they were not able to. But this Brewers team, they look good. They're leading this NL Central. It looks like they're going to close it out. The Chicago Cubs, they have the second wild card spot in the National League right now. So that hot start after the All-Star break to start the second half has just kept them there. They've still been playing good. They're riding high. Cody Bellinger's hitting like 320. The resurgence of him has been crazy. And Dansby Swanson is one of 4 National League shortstops with 3 straight 20-plus home run seasons since 2021. And the others are Willie Adames, Trey Turner, and Francisco Lindor. So best 4 shortstops right there in the National League, most consistent over the last 4 years, at least home run-wise. Third place in the National League Central will be the Cincinnati Reds, and they're 1 game back of Arizona for that final wildcard spot in the National League. Reds rookies, they have combined to hit 55 home runs this year, which is the most in franchise history, and that number is going to change probably by the time this video comes out, because those Reds rookies, there's so many of them, and they're so impactful to every game that they play. And Joey Votto became the first player to hit a home run on his 40th birthday since Alex Rodriguez back in 2015. So a couple A-Rod mentions in this episode. A-Rod always comes back, he always comes back. And oh my gosh. No. The Pittsburgh Pirates, man. I was talking about it the past couple weeks, like McCutcheon's sitting on 299. I can't wait to watch 300. I got to get out to Pittsburgh. I'm bummed. I've never been there. Andrew McCutcheon just partially tore his Achilles over this past week. What a brutal day. Partially tore his Achilles on a double. He smoked a double down the line, ran to second base, and was like, something's wrong. But thank God. He said he wants to let it heal and come back and play in 2024. And Kutch, if this somehow makes it to you, I need this, brother. I love you, dude. You're the GOAT. The GOAT. Oh, I need to watch this man play in Pittsburgh. My childhood icon. McCutcheon. All right, getting too emotional. Cardinals, same as the White Sox. Their season can't end soon enough. Not really much to say about them. Adam Wainwright just got win number 199, I believe. So, getting close. And then we'll move over to the West, the American League West. Now, sitting atop the American League West is the Houston Astros. So, I made this pick at about halfway through the season that they were going to come around and do it. And it looks like that might happen. But, I just mentioned it, they just had a major hiccup. They just lost 2 in a row to the A's. They got shut out in Game 1 of that series. Ken Waldichuk threw 6 no-hit innings in that game. So, crazy stuff. The A's are about to take a... They just did. They won the series against Houston. Even though they play again today, they won the series. Jose Altuve and Mauricio Dubon became the first pair of 9-1 hitters to hit back-to-back home runs twice in the same game. And it was Mauricio Dubon's first 2 home run game. And this came in a game when they were playing the Texas Rangers. And Jose Altuve became the 4th player in Major League Baseball history to hit a home run in each of the first 3 innings of a ball game. He joined Manny Machado in 2016, Mike Cameron in 2002, and Carl Reynolds in 1930. And in this 3-game series against the Rangers this past week, the Astros hit 16 home runs, which sets the franchise record for the most home runs in a 3-game series. And this was the most important series of the year for both teams. They came in, both of them were behind Seattle because Seattle went on a crazy tear at the beginning of July and rode that all the way to about a week and a half ago. So Seattle was leading the American League West for about 2 days. So Houston and Texas were battling it out right when this series came around. Huge series, biggest series of the year for two teams. And the Texas Rangers absolutely laid an egg. Absolutely laid an egg. As you can see, the Astros went nuts with the home runs, hit 16 in 3 games. Jose Altuve hit 3 in the first 3 innings of a game and went back-to-back with Mauricio Dubon twice in the same game. So that was just terrible from the Rangers. Astros, of course, they do that. And the other day, this weekend, not in this Rangers series, Kyle Tucker became the 11th player in Major League Baseball history to hit 2 triples in the same inning. So, I mean, this team, just this team, you know. But now, we're flip-flopped since last time we talked. Last time, I just said it, the Seattle was there, and then I think the Rangers and the Astros were tied. Now it's the Astros in first, the Rangers are in second, and Seattle's in third. So, crazy stuff going on. A lot of crazy stuff happening. Weird stuff. The Rangers, though, Marcus Semien set the franchise record for the most leadoff home runs for a Texas Ranger with 8 this year. And Dane Dunning was credited with the win on the mound on Monday for the Rangers. This snapped a 22-game winless streak by Texas Rangers starting pitchers. That was the longest streak in Rangers franchise history. The absolute worst time for this to happen, as the Rangers had been a potent offense all year long, leading this American League West for the entire season, and now it turned into an absolute dogfight in the last couple weeks of the season. And right now, they are sitting in the second wildcard spot in the American League, the Texas Rangers are. Moving on to Seattle, Julio Rodriguez is the first player in Major League Baseball history to record 25 home runs and 25 steals in each of his first 2 seasons. So, Julio, just unbelievable. And he just became the 4th player to join the 30-30 club in his age 22 season or younger. And he was the first to do this since Ronald Acuna Jr. in 2019. So, unbelievable. And I just said this. As of September 7th, they were 40-19 through July 1st. 40-19 through July 1st. That was the best record in baseball over the course of that time. Since then, they ran into the Mets of all teams. The Mets right after that. They lost a series to the Mets at Citi Field, and since then, they got that derailed them. That ruined that momentum they had from that long stretch of 40 wins over like a month and a little bit. Crazy. Cal Raleigh just hit his 28th home run of the year on Monday to break the record by the most by a Mariners catcher in a single season, breaking his own record that he set last season. So 2 years in a row, Cal Raleigh just set the franchise record for most homers by a catcher. And they are tied with the Toronto Blue Jays for the last wildcard spot right now. So both the American League and the National League wildcard getting absolutely crazy with a bunch of teams sitting there looking to get it. The Los Angeles Angels can't talk enough how disappointing this season has gone for them. But one of the bright spots from South Florida also went to Florida Atlantic. Nolan Schanuel set a new Angels franchise record by reaching base safely in his first 16 career games. This passes the Angel legend Darren Erstad, who did this in 1996. So, unbelievable from Nolan Schanuel, passing the Angels legend for most consecutive games to reach base to start an MLB season with 16. And Schanuel has now reached safely in 19 straight games to start his career. That's the longest streak in the MLB since Christopher Morel did 22 last season. So, Nolan Schanuel has been very impressive since he's gotten called up. And it only took him about a month to get called up, which makes it even more impressive. So within the same year, Nolan Schanuel was hitting against college and professional arms in about a 3-month span. Crazy stuff. Rounding out the American League West, my Oakland Athletics and Zach Geloff. Zach Geloff can't stop. He can't stop hitting extra base hits. He's Mr. Extra Base Hit. 26 extra base hits, most by an A's player through their first 46 games in franchise history. And he added 2 more yesterday. He hit 2 doubles yesterday against the Houston Astros in Houston on Tuesday night. And I mentioned this earlier when I was talking about Houston. Ken Waldichuk threw 6 no-hit innings on Monday night, right? So with these 6 no-hit innings that Ken Waldichuk threw, this year is the first time the A's have ever had 2 outings of 6 or more no-hit innings in the same season. The first time in A's franchise history with 2 outings of 6+ no-hit innings. The other one was Mason Miller, went 7 no-hit innings back on May 2nd against Seattle. So the only time the A's get 2 bids of 6 or more no-hit innings in the same season is probably the worst A's team of all time in the history of the franchise. That's crazy. That's crazy. And to round it out, the National League West, the Los Angeles Dodgers, we've talked about them a little bit. I mean, oh my goodness. Mookie Betts and Freddie Freeman, unbelievable. We're going to talk about them here. Freddie Freeman broke the Dodgers franchise record with his 53rd double of the season over the weekend. 53rd double of the year. There's 2.5 weeks left. Dodgers franchise record. The team's been around forever. What a storied franchise. Freddie Freeman, unbelievable year. Mookie Betts hit his 12th leadoff homer of the season Monday night. This is tied for the second most ever in a season, only behind Alfonso Soriano's 13 in 2003. So Mookie Betts having one of the greatest seasons ever by a leadoff hitter. And even more to prove it, he has 103 RBIs this year out of the leadoff spot. This matches the major league record set by Charlie Blackmon in 2017. So one more RBI, Mookie breaks the record for the most homers out of the leadoff spot. He needs one more leadoff homer to tie the all-time record for most in a season that Alfonso Soriano set in 2003. Those 2 guys are unreal. That's why the Dodgers are so good. They're never not going to be so good. Second in this division right now is the Arizona Diamondbacks. And last Saturday, Zach Gallen recorded his first complete game shutout against the Cubs at Wrigley. So went into Wrigley, tough place to play with a very good crowd, very good atmosphere for the home team. Goes in there and shuts down a very good offense who's been very hot recently. So Zach Gallen, NL Cy Young candidate. And right now, the D-backs are holding that last wildcard spot in the National League. We'll move to San Francisco. The Giants hit back-to-back homers for the 20th time. Oh, hit back-to-back-to-back home runs, excuse me. Back-to-back-to-back, that would be 3. For the 20th time in franchise history over this week. And they are a game and a half behind Arizona. So, like I said, the National League wildcard's still very tight. The last 2 teams here, the Padres. Soto just started to get really hot, but too little too late. San Diego's not going to make the playoffs with the roster that they have, the pitching staff that they have. Blake Snell's a Cy Young candidate. They're not going to make the playoffs. Talked about that way too much already. The Colorado Rockies, young stars, they're pretty good, but, I mean, they're nothing special yet. Nolan Jones might have the best arm I've ever seen by any outfielder. He had the hardest throw of all time, 105.7. So, I mean, he can only get better, but we just watched him get robbed of 2 hits yesterday by Pete Crow Armstrong, another rookie sensation. But that'll wrap it up there. And there we'll have it for our weekly MLB podcast. That'll wrap it up. Make sure that you hit us up on the BBSA Sports Show accounts on Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, TikTok, all that stuff. Follow us there. Follow the Bobby Valentine Sports Academy accounts on all those same platforms. And make sure you like, subscribe, comment, and follow the Clips channel as well. And hit up bvacademy.com for all your needs, Bobby Valentine Sports Academy. And that'll do it for us here at the BBSA Sports Show. Have a good one. Peace out. Squid Bones.